that down, let's move on and talk about this, shall we? You know, there's finally a He-Man movie coming. And the one thing that has me excited about it, because it's risky, man. This could go wrong so many ways. But the thing that has always given me hope for it is the guy directing it. The most important person when it comes to how good a movie's going to be, the director, Travis Knight. The guy who directed Kubo and the Two Strings, and then walked into a total scrap heap of rubble and made a Transformers movie called Bumblebee and made it the best there had ever been. At least to this day, it's still the best live action Transformers movie. He somehow took the Transformers, gave them all the fun of the Transformers, but also gave it heart, and he just did a great job with it. This is the guy they went to go and get to direct He-Man, Masters of the Universe. Well, they just released a little teaser the other day. It's not even a teaser. It's literally just a logo. That's fine. But it re-emphasized, as according to the Hollywood Reporter here, the fact that Masters of the Universe is coming out on June 5th. June 5th, 2026. So that's when it's coming. So I thought it would be fun, since they just kind of restated when the release date of it is, to take a look for a second and say, how is this He-Man going to do in relation to what it's going to be competing against? What's coming out against it, say 3 weeks in front and behind, and how's it going to hold up? So I pulled together a little bit of a list here. And here's what He-Man's going to have to be dealing with. Coming out right before it, the only thing significant coming out in the couple of weeks leading up to it is The Mandalorian and Grogu. Now, I don't think this movie's going to be, I don't think Mandalorian and Grogu is going to be $1 billion film or anything like that, but I don't even know if it's going to make $700 million, to be honest with you. But it won't need 700 to break even. So maybe it can make 5, 6, something like that. But that's what's already going to be in theaters. That's going to be on its second or third weekend by the time He-Man comes out. So it's going to have to deal with that a little bit. Then in the week after He-Man, because as of right now, it's got that June 5th date all to itself. I mean, when it comes to significant big movies. But the very next week, it's going to have to deal with whatever this untitled Steven Spielberg film is.
Two Empire, Two Son.
No, it's the big disclosure movie. It's softening us up for the actual 2027 shenanigans.
There we go. But on that same day, a movie I have no plans on watching, but I think a bunch of people are. Scary Movie 6.
Yeah. Okay.
So you got the Steven Spielberg film and Scary Movie 6 opening on the same weekend. Then the weekend after that, once you get into the third weekend of He-Man, it's going to have to deal with Toy Story 5.
Yeah, it's a big one.
And listen, the Toy Stories, they just generate money. They just print money. And I don't think this one's going to be any different. And then once you go one more week after that, so still in that month of June, now by that point, you're in its fourth weekend. It's going to be tailing off anyway, but it's going to have to also now contend with Supergirl. Now, when you think about that, by the time He-Man gets to its fourth weekend, it will have in theaters against it a Steven Spielberg movie, Toy Story 5, Supergirl, and there's going to be a bunch of people going to see Toy Story 6 or Scary Movie 6. I'm not one of them, but a bunch of people will.
Neither am I.
So I don't know, man. Like, look, when they showed us the preview for Masters of the Universe at CinemaCon, that was the most needle moving moment for me. Like, I'm like, oh my, this actually looks like it could be really fun. But marketing it is going to be difficult because, the first pictures that came out didn't do it very many favors with Gilsington Galskenstein. What's his name?
Exactly.
The guy. Yeah, that's the guy's name. That's
Frankenstein.
His name, right? The guy who's playing Gallenstein, whatever his name is. The kid playing He-Man. When the first images that came out of that are him running around in khakis and a pink sweater, and a weird haircut. Yeah, there it is. Those blue jeans. Those weren't khakis. Although Tila looks great. But, I mean, I don't think that did a lot for it. I just don't know how they're going to market this film. I think it's going to be a challenge. I know the CinemaCon presentation got me interested. I'm sold. I'm going to go see it. But I think there's going to be a lot of people on the fence. So it's going to have, without the external competition, Rob, I think it's going to be a difficult run for He-Man Then you throw into that opening all in its month, Toy Story 5, Supergirl, Steven Spielberg film. Right before it, Star Wars movie with Mandalorian and Grogu. Putting aside how good the movie could be, because with Travis Knight directing it, it could be great. It could be great. I just don't know how well it can actually do financially, Rob. I don't know.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. You know, it feels like workplace stress is higher than ever these days, and I was just reading that about 61% of the global workforce is dealing with above normal levels of stress, and honestly, it's not surprising. When you're stuck in endless Zoom meetings, juggling deadlines, or just trying to keep your head above water, it adds up. Now sure, a quick vacation sounds nice, but let's be real, it's not a long-term fix. What's helped me is building small wellness habits. For me, it's things like getting outside in the sun for a few minutes, or squeezing in a brisk walk during breaks. But for a lot of people, sometimes that's just not enough, and that's where therapy can really help. BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform with over 30,000 therapists who've already helped over 5 million people worldwide. Their app is super convenient. You can meet with a therapist with just a click, and if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists anytime. And just listen to the user reviews. The BetterHelp app has a 4.9 out of 5 from over 1.7 million reviews. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Unwind from work with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Campea. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Campea.
What's your perspective on all this?
Well, okay. Here's the thing. For this movie to work with today's audiences, it's all about the tone of the film. You know, how is it going to feel? It's got to be somewhere between Lord of the Rings and the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yeah, that's the sweet spot.
In terms of its tone. I think Travis Knight is the guy to do it. The guy, because he understands, his Bumblebee movie shows that he understands taking something, because the Transformers and He-Man as a property are pretty similar in terms of making you believe and bringing something like that into live action. He was able to inject with Haley Steinfeld and what all the effects and the robots. I mean, that could have gone south very quickly.
John, I got to admit, John Cena was pretty good in it too.
Yeah, and so Travis Knight got it. And so I think Travis Knight is the guy to do this, but he's got somebody else with him that you could, and I can't stress this enough. Production designer Guy Dias, who has done production design movies like X2, Inception, Michael Mann's Black Hat, which, by the way, if you see the director's cut of that, is a vastly superior film. He has and Superman Returns too, he has a seriousness to his approach. He understands the assignment. He understands exactly the sweet spot between Lord of the Rings and Dungeons and Dragons, and the design work that was on display in that behind the scenes stuff, all the stuff on Eternia, what everything looked like, because it could look not good. You know, if you had somebody not understanding, like, this movie can't just be Masters of the Universe, it has to be cool for modern audiences.
Yeah.
Like, you and I have to go, that was pretty badass. You know, and that's where the tone comes in. And I think between the two of them and the approach, I mean, those costume designs, Idris Elba, Man at Arms.
So for those of you who don't know what Rob's talking about, they showed us a full palette of all the costume designs.
Oh, wow.
I mean, Sorceress? Sorceress outfit?
It looked really good. Like, listen, we don't know how the movie's going to turn out. We don't know how.
I have no idea.
But I'm going to tell you what, guys, the costume designs were spectacular.
And I think, I'm not sure, it's probably too early. I know that I saw something floated by about San Diego on a Masters of the Universe display. Like, maybe they got some at the Mattel booth or something. But, you know, I actually know Guy a little bit, and I talked to him about his approach, and he was just via a chat. And he said some really interesting things about, like, vehicles that weren't shown. He goes, "Oh no, that's in the movie." And my big thing, I asked him, I said, "Bro, Battle Cat?" Because they didn't.
It's just gonna say Battle Cat. And we saw nothing of Battle Cat.
And he said Battle Cat's in the movie. Yeah, because they didn't show Battle Cat. I'm like, where's Battle Cat? Now, I don't need Cringer. I'm just saying, I don't need Cringer, but give me some Battle Cat action. And you know, and then there's the Wind Rider, that flying ship. I don't know if that's in the movie either, but I think I'm excited for this movie, man. I think it's either going to be badass or it's going to be
Or
a crushing,
ass bad.
or ass bad.
You know what my big hesitation is? The decision that they brought it to Earth. Because when I hear that of them bringing it to Earth, I instantly think of Dolph Lundgren on a quest to get DJ Jazzy Jeff's synthesizer. It's the musical notes, man. It's going to open the port. I just, although that did mean he got to meet Courtney Cox. So that's pretty good.
I think they know that. Because none of the stuff they really showed the behind the scenes of was on Earth. I think that is probably
but all the photos that have come out is he's fighting mall cops.
Right, but that was like in the
battles mall cops.
Yeah,
Paul
that's,
Blart.
look, I don't think that Travis Knight, because Travis Knight gets it. He
Yes,
grew
he
up
does.
with this.
Yes,
stuff.
he does,
He
yeah.
grew up with this. Nobody wants to see He-Man on Earth. I mean, give us Eternia, baby. That's what we want.
Honestly-
We want Castle Grayskull.
I mean, I get it's just a different situation, a different era. I do still believe that Travis Knight is going to be revered like people used to kind of revere Tim Burton. And I don't see, based on his craftsmanship and his vision, why he shouldn't be.
Well, now he needs
Well, he needs
more
this.
stuff. Well, he needs this, and he needs more on his resume.
Yeah.
Because right now his only theatrical feature film directorial stuff has been Kubo and the Two Strings and Bumblebee.
Right.
But both he knocked it out of the park. But you're right, he needs this.
I mean, look, the guy was like, as a young man, was a rapper. Travis Knight. And
Well, look at who his dad is.
Yeah, I know.
Of course he gets into that stuff.
But it was interesting because, you know, and I go back to the fact I only talked to him for a little bit, but I sat down and interviewed him for this Hasbro licensing show. And he's a really smart, thoughtful guy. And this was before he started shooting Bumblebee. And even though I, was with him for like an hour, it was very apparent to me that he has the stuff. And I was like, he gets it because he grew up with it. And like, he genuinely loves this stuff. And like the Transformers thing, he talked about it like the Blues Brothers. He was on a mission from God to make a great Transformers film. And I can only imagine that I'm sure he jumped into this feet first going, I can't wait to make this movie.
Now, here's the question. Will they have the guts? Can the studio and Disney make an agreement where we can get an MCU and He-Man universe crossover and we have the adventures of Fisto and Mephisto McFisting? If they can do that, that movie is printing money. McFisting. It's Mephisto and Fisto on a big road trip adventure. And as they travel, their adventures are called McFisting. So that movie writes itself, my friend.
Look, I think the design work that we saw alone makes me excited for the approach. And I think, look, coming out from Amazon, they've got an incredible slate, of
Yeah,
movies.
they do.
And I think that with the new people they have installed there, they're really gunning for top dog status. I mean, they want to turn MGM, an Amazon studio, into something that is a powerhouse, and they're all in on theatrical. So, man, I think they know. I mean, I'm not going to compare this to Lord of the Rings, but I think that they would think they want it to be their Lord of the Rings.
Well, you know what? It is Comic-Con this week, so maybe they'll drop a first teaser other than just a little logo thing. Who knows? We'll find out. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? So it's going to be kind of a full month that it comes out in. How is it going to do without the competition? How's it going to do against that competition? What do you think out of all those movies we listed is going to be the one that really gives He-Man problems at the box office? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.